Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to our webinar. Today we're going to talk about MOOCs. If you don't know what a MOOC is, you're in the right place. So stick around and we will tell you. My name is John Mark King, and I'm here with my colleague, Heidi Howland. We're from the State Department's Office of English Language Programs.
Yes, welcome. And I just want to give a shout out to International Education Week, which is why we're doing this webinar. So if at any time throughout the webinar you want to tweet about what we're doing, you can use the hashtag American English from our office or the hashtag IEW 2015 for International Education Week.
Awesome. I love hashtags.
Me too.
So first, a quick overview of what we're going to do, what you can expect, and this is Heidi's slide. Go ahead.
All right, so we are going to talk about what a MOOC is, where you might be able to find one, why you might take a MOOC, and how you can succeed in a MOOC.
Excellent. So what is a MOOC? Well, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, what is a MOOC?
It's an acronym.
It's a funny word.
Yeah, it does kind of sound funny when you say it. It's like moo, like with a k on the end of it.
Exactly.
Right? Well,
it's like a cow.
It is. It's exactly like a cow, but totally different. A MOOC is well. First of all, the word is an acronym, and an acronym means that every letter in the word stands for another word.
Right.
So for MOOC, it is a massive, open, online course. And we're going to go through each of these actually and talk about them a little bit. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Almost.
All right.
So the first letter, M, stands for massive. What this means is that when you are in a MOOC, studying something, learning about something, you are usually there with a lot of other people.
So massive is like bigger than big.
It's bigger than big.
Larger than larger than large.
All of the above. Enormous. For example, you can have a few hundred people in a MOOC. You can have a few 100,000 people.
Wow, that's
you can have
a lot.
Hundreds of billions of people. Not really. But it may seem like it when you're in the MOOC. And we'll talk a little bit about this later on when we discuss strategies for being successful in a MOOC, that sometimes being in such a large group of people can work against you. You can feel like you're, all by yourself. But we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Right. And the next is open. So what does it mean that a MOOC is open? Well, first of all, it's free. So you do not have to pay any money to take a MOOC. However, there are options. So one option is it's free, so it's open to anyone, and you still receive a certificate of completion even with this free option.
So I don't have to pay.
No, nothing.
But if I finish it, I get a certificate.
Yes,
that's nice.
Exactly. But sometimes MOOCs also have a second option, and that second option you do have to pay for it. And this is a verified certificate. So this just means that the platform of the MOOC goes through extra steps to determine your identity so that you are actually the person you say you are and you are the one doing the work. So they might ask for some sort of ID, like a photo. They might even look at your keystroke style, so like your style of typing, to make sure you're the one doing the work throughout.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and it's $40 to $50 usually, US dollars, to get this. So it's paying for an extra level of certainty that you're the one who did it.
Okay, but I don't have to do this.
You absolutely do not have to do this. That's why MOOCs are open. They're free.
Okay.
So this is just an option if you want to take it.
All right. Very interesting.
And the other part of it being open is that the materials are all free. You might, again, have the option to buy other materials, but you don't have to. So all the materials are yours. You can download them. You can keep them forever. Even if you don't finish the MOOC, you still get all the materials. And they're free.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So that's the O.
That's
The first O of two O's in
the
MOOC.
first O of two O's, open, meaning it's free. And the materials are free. And anyone can take it.
Fantastic. Let's move on to the second O in MOOC, which stands for online. So basically what this means is you access the MOOC through the internet. So in order to gain access, of course, you need to be able to reach the internet either through your mobile phone, your tablet, or a personal computer, right? Many MOOC platforms offer a mobile app, either for iOS or Android, so that you can access all the courses and the materials, even submit assignments through your smartphone, which is pretty cool.
So I could take an entire MOOC from my smartphone.
You could. I think your fingers might get a little tired typing out all of your papers, but yes, that you can. In theory, you can. You can
Wow.
read the materials. You can download the materials. You can submit assignments. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's right. And of course, a lot of MOOCs have videos that are associated with them, but oftentimes the videos are optional, or the videos are on YouTube, which allows you to stream at a somewhat lower bandwidth. So they do allow you to adjust if your connection is not that great. But you can also download the materials when you're at a Wi-Fi hotspot, for example, and then read them, watch them later on when you're at home where your connection may not be as strong.
So I don't need to be online all the time.
No, you don't. You need to be online to get the materials and to submit your assignments, but not necessarily to do your work or to do the readings.
That's great.
That is great. And another option might be, let's say you discover a MOOC and you're really interested, maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're a student, you can recommend that your teacher use the materials in the course. That way, you don't even have to have access to the MOOC yourself in order to use the materials that are in it. But like Heidi said on the previous slide, you do have to be online to get them, but you don't have to be online to use them. And that is the second O in the word MOOC, online. We're almost to the last one. Are
And
you
the
ready?
last one, I'm ready,
All right, here it comes.
is course.
Uh-huh.
So the C stands for course. So why does it stand for course? They're usually about 5 to 15 week sequence in a MOOC, and they're weekly units that build off of one another and follow a logical order. And importantly, MOOCs are usually based on a U.S. university course, and we're going to talk about all the great benefits of this later. What I love is that some MOOCs are go at your own pace.
Yes.
So I don't have to worry about deadline. So I can just do it. I can take 2 years if I want to complete
That's a
it.
long time.
That is quite a long time, but
It's
but I
better than
like
never
that
finishing it.
flexibility, exactly. So if you might not have enough time to finish it in the, say, 5 weeks, if it's a go at your own pace, then you can just extend that.
So, okay, so let me make sure I understand this.
Yeah.
They're 5 to 15 weeks or so, and some of them are go at your own pace.
Yes.
That means that the others are on a calendar schedule.
Yeah, so some of the others you might have a specific time period that you need to finish them in. But the beauty of MOOCs, what I love, is that you don't actually have to finish them. So there's no penalty if you don't finish the MOOC. There's no penalty for not doing any of the work. I have signed up for several MOOCs and I've never actually completed any of them. It doesn't mean that I failed. It doesn't mean that I got penalized. That's completely fine. That's the beauty of this.
Okay, so even though course is in the name, the C stands for course, the user doesn't necessarily have to treat it like a course. I could just log in and get the materials for one module if I want to.
Exactly.
It's not like taking an actual course. It's called a course because it's built out of, or it's based on, other courses at universities.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Just remember that the certificate of completion, you would have to complete the course to receive that.
Okay. So this is fascinating. So it's not necessarily always a course. You have to access them online, but you don't necessarily have to be online to use them.
Exactly.
They're free, but there are sometimes options to pay, so open most of the time, but not always. And massive can depend on what your definition of massive is. It can be a few hundred, it can be a few 100,000.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Exactly.
All right.
Well done.
Oh, thanks. So here's a screenshot from a MOOC that I found, Heidi.
What?
And
This doesn't look like a course from a university.
I know, it's like 5 weeks of fun. So it's from the University of Florida, about the history or the beginning of rock and roll music. Do you like rock and roll music?
I love rock and roll music. I'm going to sign up for this.
I think you should. I think you should. And one thing that's important to remember, and we'll talk about this a little bit later too, is that you can find pretty much any topic that you want to explore in a MOOC. It doesn't necessarily have to be an academic course. It can be a course you take just for fun, right? And so if you want to learn about how rock and roll music began, what are the pieces that made it up from its very beginnings in the 1950s and before, well, you can just casually take this MOOC and learn a little bit about that.
This looks awesome. I'm definitely going. We should take it together.
All right. Let's definitely do that. And we're going to talk later about taking MOOCs with a partner to help you to stay motivated, right?
Yeah.
Super.
So now that you might want to take a MOOC, where do you find MOOCs?
Great question. Well, there are lots of places to find MOOCs. There are literally lots, maybe dozens, I don't know exactly, platforms where you can find MOOCs. The big ones, at least that we're going to share right now, are Coursera, edX, and FutureLearn. And typically what happens with a MOOC platform is they are a private company that has partnerships with institutions or universities. And these universities, they provide the material, they design the courses, they moderate the courses, and the platform, like Coursera, they just give them the infrastructure and the place in the cloud or on the internet where they can put it all.
I see.
So if you want to find a MOOC, you can just go to Google and search for MOOC and then whatever topic you're looking for. The best thing to do is to start, if it's your first time, go to Coursera, go to edX, go to FutureLearn, browse their topics and see what they have.
So, for example, the Coursera is not making the MOOC.
That is correct.
They're just putting the MOOC onto their platform.
That's right. Coursera has partnerships with universities, and the universities are the ones that design the content and put all put it all on the internet.
That's good to know.
That's right. And one piece of advice: once you've found a few, go ahead and sign up for some MOOCs. Even if you don't plan to take them, sign up for a few that you're interested in, and then like Coursera, for example, or edX, they will send you email updates whenever a new MOOC that they think you would be interested in is starting.
Oh, that's very helpful, because sometimes it's overwhelming. There are so many MOOCs.
Yes. Here's another one that we found. Have you heard of Scratch?
Yeah, this is a programming code, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is a MOOC to help you to learn how to do programming in Scratch, which is apparently a very easy way to program computer software.
This looks like it's for kids.
Well, it can be for kids. I mean, it's easy enough that even kids can use it.
Wow.
Which also means that an adult can use it, but adults actually would find it interesting and useful as well. So if you're interested in learning about how to program applications, you can take this free MOOC to learn.
That's amazing.
Amazing it is.
So why take a MOOC?
Yeah, why?
Why? Do you know why? Oh, we're going to talk about that.
We have a few reasons why, yes. It's important to have a reason.
It is important to have a reason to take a MOOC. So what are some of these reasons? Well, first, it's a great opportunity to see what it's like to take a university course in the US. So because a MOOC is not unlike a university course, you'll get a flavor for the type of language that's used, the types of readings that you have to do, the assignments that are required or expected, the style of instruction of the lectures, the professors, and even the type of interactions that you might have between the professor and the students or between students.
Now, you see what this guy is writing on the board here? I don't have to know that, do I? To take a
No, I don't think I would want to take that.
Because I don't understand any of that.
So the beauty, as I'll keep probably repeating throughout this webinar, is that MOOCs are free. There's no penalty to not finishing. So in this way, you're able to get a sense of what it's like to take a university course in a really basically no risk way. You're not losing any money. You're
Mhm.
not getting penalized in any way. You're not getting a failing grade. So it's a great opportunity to do that and kind of, in like some extent, immerse yourself in that cultural of the U.S., that university experience.
In a very safe way.
In a very, very safe way.
That's great. What about some of the professors that you might encounter?
Well, these are U.S. professors, many of them, and they may be well known in their field. They might be from great universities, and you get an opportunity to listen to a lecture by a distinguished, respected academic.
For free.
For free.
That's awesome.
Right? This is why I've signed up for several MOOCs.
That's right. That's right. And you can too. Why else take a MOOC?
Yeah, why else?
Well,
what are other reasons?
Well, have you heard, Heidi, of lifelong learning?
I mean, I like to think of myself as a lifelong learner.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean to you? Because I think it means different things.
Sure. So to me, lifelong learning means, well, basically as long as, you're around, right?
I'm thankful I still am.
Right.
Thank you.
Learning never stops. I mean, you have formal education. Everybody has to go to school, and if you're lucky enough, you get to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
But even after that, learning doesn't stop. Right? I mean, you're always growing, you're always developing, you're always changing because the world around you is changing.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunities come up that maybe weren't around when you were younger, and it's fun just to keep learning stuff as an
Very
adult.
fun.
And MOOCs are a perfect resource for that kind of person, the person that's interested in exploring new topics and new ideas, even after they finish their formal schooling.
So someone who's curious about
Absolutely.
lots of stuff.
That's right. Somebody who enjoys engaging in self-directed, continuous learning activities, filling in the gaps in what their traditional schooling had left. You can enroll and just do 1 week's module, for example, because that's what you're interested in. But of course, if you complete it, you get a certificate. Basically, for people that are curious about what other things that are out there to learn, MOOCs are fantastic. Like we
That's
saw
great.
before, maybe I want to. I'm an adult. I've never tried programming before. Maybe I'll take the programming in Scratch MOOC for the first time, learn about it.
And
Right?
it seems like a great way to get professional development as well.
That's
and
right.
Make me more attractive as a potential
Well,
employee.
exactly right. So a lifelong learner is always looking for formal opportunities for continued learning as well.
Mhm.
You can finish university, like I said. You have casual learning throughout your life, but you can also have more professional learning that helps you in your career. And a MOOC will offer you credentials or certificates, even badges, which we'll talk about, that you can use on your resume to show employers.
Great. You mentioned a badge? What's a badge?
Well, okay, so a badge is a credential that you receive from some MOOCs, and not all MOOCs offer this, but many of them do, that allow you to show exactly what you did in a course. And most badges are portable, which means no matter where you take the course, or your badges are in one place, and you can take them, put them on your LinkedIn profile, you can print them, add them to your resume, add links to them, and a badge is kind of like a transcript that you get from a university, but it's usually about something smaller that you did, and it also has a lot more detail about what you did in the course.
And these are paper or electronic?
They are electronic. Of course, you can print them, but the great thing about them is that they're electronic. Most badges are open as well, and so lots of different platforms use the same one. For example, Mozilla Open Badges is the most popular.
Wow.
It is open source, it is free, which means it's very portable, and you can take your badges with you no matter what courses you're taking.
That's fantastic. And so since there are some that are used on multiple platforms, then people understand those badges.
That's right. And if they don't, of course, the great thing about them is that you can click on the badge and it will tell the person exactly what you did in that MOOC.
That's fantastic.
This is called micro-credentialing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Here is another MOOC. Oh, this is one of our MOOCs.
Yes, I've seen this many times before.
That's right. So our office here at the State Department, we said at the beginning, we're in the Office of English Language Programs. We produce MOOCs as well, and this is one of them. It is a writing course. It is in 3 parts. Each of the parts is 5 weeks long. And it is for people that want to improve their academic writing skills. Specifically, people that are interested in improving their writing in academic courses in an American university setting.
That's fantastic. And I love this MOOC. One thing I'm wondering about, you said that there were 3 parts. Do I need to take all 3 of those parts? Do I need to take them in order?
You need
How
to
does
do
that work?
only what you feel like is necessary.
I love that
So
answer.
just like what we've been talking about up to now, is you can enroll in this MOOC. You don't have to finish it. It's free. You can get the certificate, the verified certificate if you want. You can get the regular certificate for free if you want. The materials are available for free. The creator of the MOOC, Maggie Sokolik, she actually has some very inexpensive extra materials that you can purchase if you want that aren't required but that are very helpful. And this will help you to improve your writing skills, editing, proofreading, looking at different genres. It's really, really fascinating. And it's for people that are at an advanced level. But you know, we have other MOOCs coming up. This year we'll have MOOCs for people that want to improve their English in a variety of different skills. So people should definitely stay tuned.
Yes, that's awesome. And you can see on this slide the price. It says free or add a verified certificate for $49. So that's an option. This definitely is free. Fantastic. So next we're going to talk about how to succeed at taking a MOOC. And I think this is the fun part, right? Talking about how to succeed.
Absolutely.
Who does not like success?
I've been looking forward to this part of the webinar since the webinar began about 20 minutes ago.
That's quite a long time to be excited to talk about this. So one of the ways to think about how to succeed is to think about the expectations you have when you're taking the MOOC. So really, to start, think about why you're taking the MOOC, right? What are your reasons for taking the MOOC? And know your goal. So set a goal. What do you want to accomplish? And that goal should be aligned with the reason why you're taking it. So if you're just taking it for fun, that's the reason why I'm taking it, then maybe my goal isn't to do every single assignment and complete the MOOC if that is not going to be fun for me, right? So you want to make sure that your goal and your reason are matched.
Understood.
And make your goal realistic, right? So if I'm taking a MOOC, I don't have a lot of time. So maybe finishing the MOOC is not realistic for me because I don't have enough time.
Or maybe not taking a MOOC that is on a strict schedule is better for you.
That is definitely better for me. Exactly. And speaking of time, be realistic and know your expectations of time. So how long will you devote to the MOOC each day or each week?
Okay, now a lot of, most MOOCs are in English. Not all MOOCs are in English, right? But at least the ones that we're talking about that American universities are.
Yes.
What if, Heidi, English is not my first language? What do I do with my expectations from that point?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I think that you first should know your what you're good at in your English skills and have a sense of how long it might take you. So you might need to allow maybe extra time, and you know yourself well and what skills you have in that second or third language that is English. So know how much extra time you might need to do the work and to do the readings.
Okay, so if English is my second language, it's likely that I'm going to need more time.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, absolutely not.
All right.
Yeah. If I took a MOOC in another language besides English, it would take me probably 3 times as long.
2 years.
Probably 2 years, although it's been 2 years of one MOOC and I still haven't finished. So that was in English.
All right. Also, another key to success is collaboration. We talked a little while ago about with the rock and roll MOOC.
Yes.
Maybe you and I taking the MOOC together.
Great idea, right?
Fantastic idea. And that is also one way to ensure that maybe you'll enjoy the experience more, you'll get more out of the experience,
Mm-hmm.
because traditionally, a MOOC is designed for one person to take the course at their own pace usually. Even though there are possibly thousands of other people, they're somewhere else in the world, or they're not,
Right.
studying with you in person. And that can be really hard. It's difficult to stay motivated when you're all by yourself. It's a lot of work. One of the great things about going actually to a classroom is you're
Mhm.
there with, 10, 15, 20 other people that are all studying the same thing. You get to talk and explore ideas together.
Yeah,
Well-
that's what I love about being in the classroom.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
you can kind of replicate this a little bit in the MOOC. You have to be somewhat creative, but
Hmm.
that's okay. We have some tips for you. You can join or start a Facebook group on your MOOC.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and oftentimes inside the MOOC webpage, there's a link to Facebook groups that have already been created. Other students that are in the MOOC will create one and advertise it. You can create one. It can be maybe for everybody that is in from your country taking the MOOC at the same time, or from your community, or in your institution.
So suddenly you go from having maybe 100,000 people in the MOOC to this smaller community to talk about what's happening in the MOOC on a Facebook page.
That's right. That's right. So on the MOOC page, you'll do your assignments,
Mm-hmm.
you'll do your reading, and then in your Facebook group, you'll have a smaller group of people to share ideas with, to share reflections with, what you like about the course so far, what's confusing. You can ask questions and get feedback. So it kind of copies the classroom experience in a little ways.
So it's like a virtual study group.
It is exactly like a virtual
I
study
love
group.
that.
But you could also have a study group in person. Have you heard of MOOC camps?
Yes, we have some MOOC camps.
We
right?
do. So the State Department has a program called MOOC camps, and this is a program that's run out of U.S. embassies, either at American centers or at embassies or at consulates, where they find a facilitator, kind of like a
Mhm.
teacher, who works with a group of MOOC participants, and so they'll have a schedule. So let's say it's 25 people. All of them sign up for the MOOC. They all take the MOOC. They all do their assignments by themselves, usually.
Mhm.
But then once a week or twice a week or once every other week, however, they all come together at the MOOC camp to talk about their assignments. So it's a great way to kind of personalize or to make relevant to you and to your community the material that you're exploring in the MOOC. And it makes it more fun, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Having that person-to-person connection.
It
in
really
person.
helps.
Yeah.
It really helps. And if that's not an option, you can also encourage a friend to take a MOOC with you.
John Mark, will you take that rock and roll MOOC with me?
I would love to. I cannot wait to learn
Yes.
about rock and roll music together. A colleague, let's say if it's professional development,
Mm-hmm.
it's great to invite a colleague to take the MOOC with you.
That's a good idea.
Learn together.
Do you think that this rock and roll MOOC will be about professional development
I hope
in
not.
some way?
I hope not, because it looks like it's too much fun to be professional development. Now, collaborating with a friend or a colleague, this may not make you, necessarily finish the MOOC. Finishing isn't
Mhm.
always the goal. The goal is to get what you want out of it.
Right.
But what this will do is make the things that you do engage in, the work that you do in the MOOC, more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And next, we're going to talk about time management. So, John Mark, you might know that I love time management, right?
Yes, I do now.
I do. So some people might not be that good at managing their time.
I am marginally good at managing my time.
Well, I'm going to tell you how you might be able to manage your time so that you can take a MOOC.
Thank you.
Okay. Because, we're really busy, right?
Yes, we are very busy.
You're busy too.
Life is busy,
Life
just in general.
for everyone
Sometimes I
is
feel like
busy.
there's no time for anything. I wish there were 34 hours in a day. Then I could sleep
34.
for 18 hours.
I don't know if I could sleep for 18 hours a day.
Okay.
I get too excited about what the next day is going to, bring.
Especially if you're taking a MOOC. I got to get up
Yes.
and work on my MOOC assignments.
My rock and roll MOOC assignments. So what we talked about, I guess John Mark talked about earlier, is that you can do a lot of the work for a MOOC on your phone.
Mm.
So you don't have to maybe commit a large amount of time for one sitting if you can use your phone.
So while I'm waiting for the bus, or I'm in a taxi, or I'm in the train,
Yeah.
don't
At
do
breaks at work.
it while you're walking though.
I don't know.
People do it all the time. You
I
see them
read and walk.
You read and walk?
Yeah.
You are brave.
But it's those small amounts of time, right, that you can use to do certain things for the MOOC. Like John Mark said, maybe if you're on the bus or you're on the train, you could, if you're taking a lunch break at work, because you can use your phone, then it makes it a lot easier to find those small amounts of time.
Yeah.
And then also, I'm a big fan of multitasking.
Mm-hmm. What's multitasking?
Well, it makes me efficient. So it's doing more than one thing at once.
Uh-huh.
So granted, I can't do two things that take a lot of my brain power at once.
Right.
But maybe I could be cleaning my apartment while listening to a lecture from a MOOC. So that's another way to kind of find time that I think I don't have.
That's great.
Yeah, and time management is part of the university experience.
That's right. So if I'm going to be, let's say, if I plan someday perhaps to study in the United States, I'm going to have to learn successful time management skills, aren't I?
Absolutely.
And this is a great way to practice that.
Yeah, again, you're getting a taste of U.S. university experience in a no-risk way.
For free.
For free. And time management is part of that experience.
Great. Well, this one is actually my favorite key to success. And it is developing your skills as an independent learner.
I know what an independent learner is, but what exactly are the qualities that are necessary?
I thought you'd never ask.
You've been waiting the whole time for this.
That's right. Now it all comes down to this. I better not mess it up. So, an independent learner. So this is somebody who is self-motivated. So this kind of learner, they know why they're learning. They know why they're doing what they're doing. And they have clearly defined goals, which we talked about earlier. An independent learner is also self-directed. So not only am I motivated, I know why I'm doing it, I am independently seeking out opportunities. I know where to look. I know maybe who to ask. I know how to experiment. I'm active in finding avenues of learning on my own.
So you want to learn, you're motivated to learn, and then you actively seek out that knowledge.
That's right. That's right. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Why, thank you.
And an independent learner, they see how what they're doing, what they're learning affects or enhances other parts of their lives. So maybe it's just a hobby they're interested in, they enjoy learning more about it. They draw that connection between what they're doing, what they're learning, and their real life. Professionally as well. So they see a clear connection between, they say, the MOOC they're taking on learning Microsoft Excel and what they have to do at work.
Yeah, that would be a great MOOC on Excel. I would take that.
Yeah, I'm really bad at Excel. I should look
too.
for an Excel MOOC.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I know there are squares and you put numbers in.
And then they do other stuff.
Sometimes you can change the color of the squares.
Okay, maybe I could teach you a little bit more about that.
So let's see. An independent learner is good at, like you said on the previous slide, managing their time. They can balance their responsibilities so that they're realistic in how they fit the learning into other parts of their lives. They're efficient. In other words, they know what maybe that they should devote more time to, be more intensely focused on, and what maybe they can maybe pay somewhat attention to. Also, they're really good at choosing what they want to do. So, for example, they can find a MOOC very quickly that they know they'll be interested in taking. But even then, if they're wrong, they drop it very quickly and go on to something else.
So they don't waste their time.
Absolutely, time is very valuable. We only have so much.
We have very little.
And so if you're an efficient learner, you're better at more quickly finding something. It's kind of like when you pick up a book to read. If you're an efficient independent learner, maybe the book is too difficult. You stop reading it. You don't finish it. You go on to something else.
Or what if it's boring?
Or what if it's boring? Or what if it's not what you thought it was? Right? So not only are you good at choosing the right MOOC, but you're also good at deciding in the middle of the process if you should drop it and try something else.
Sounds like an independent learner also knows a lot about how they learn as well.
Yeah, they know themselves really well.
Mm-hmm.
They know what kind of learning works well for them. They know, for example, that maybe you really like to listen to lectures. It works well for you. Or maybe watching videos is really great for you. You know why you're doing, you know how to do it, and you know what works best for you. Finally, and one of my favorites, is they're not afraid to fail.
Yeah, this one's really hard for me.
It's
Tell
hard
me
for a
why
lot of
this
people.
is important.
Well, so I guess it depends on how you define failure and how you define success. So the independent learner knows that even in failure, if we're going to use that word, there is much to be learned. You know, it's easy to be successful. It's really challenging to fail. It's difficult. You learn about yourself. It's very humbling. And because of that, you can actually learn an awful lot that helps you in the future.
So you're saying that if I fail at something, I'm not really failing because I'm learning something that's important.
That's right. And if you take that point of
Okay.
view, then failure is impossible.
I like this.
Yeah, it's
I like
great.
this idea about failure being impossible.
And well, and it's true as well. I mean, if you know that you're going to learn from every experience, then failure ceases to be a possibility.
Then everything is a success.
Everything is a success. That's right. But also, in this not afraid to failure, they're also not afraid to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
You're not afraid to be challenged by new ideas, and always open to new ways of thinking, new avenues of exploration. This is an independent learner.
Right, and that's how you learn, right? By asking questions, by being curious, by being challenged. If we did everything that was just easy for us,
You never
then
learn anything.
Not a thing.
That's right.
Nothing
That's right.
new.
And MOOCs are a great place to do this.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm excited to be challenged by that rock and roll MOOC. I can't stop thinking
me
about
too.
that one.
Well, I think that's the end of our presentation. That was fun.
Thank you. That was very fun.
Sure.
Thanks, John Mark.
Well, I see there's a website here. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, so again, thank you for joining us, and we are John Mark and Heidi from the Office of English Language Programs in the U.S. Department of State, and we have a website where you can find and download free materials for teaching and learning English.
Great.
And that's our URL, http americanenglish.state.gov, and we also have a very active Facebook page that is at Facebook, and it's American English at State. And again, if you are on Twitter and you want to tweet, you can always use our hashtag American English, and for International Education Week, you can use the hashtag IEW2015, and I assume next year it will be IEW 2016.
Yes. Great. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for your attention. Now your task is to go out and find a MOOC.
Thank you. Yes, I am.
Bye-bye.
Bye.